Hello again, everybody. Well, today we have come back to the Boydston Community Cemetery. Now, I did drive through here before as part of another video, but today we're going to take a more in-depth look at this cemetery. So I'm here with my Lookout Valley historian again, Alex.
Hello, everyone.
So, Alex, what can you tell us about this place?
Well, it was donated by Kavanaugh Boydston, who moved into Lookout Valley around the 1820s. He moved here and wanted to settle here, and it's a nice little community. My family's lived out here even longer, so I can say that. He lived here, and upon his death, he donated this land to be used as a cemetery. He's buried somewhere over here. Sadly, his tombstone's missing. His family lived out here for many years, and they still do. One of his most famous, if you want to say famous, family members was Jimmy or James Boydstun, who was a Confederate scout during the American Civil War. He was captured and released, and his family still has their release papers, and there are still Boydston families that live in the community to this day. And sadly, the old Boydston homestead burned as a result of a fire, of course. I'm not sure if it was an electrical fire or a lightning hit the cabin, but it was located on the other side where we are now. But there is lots of families. This is kind of like the not oldest cemetery in Lookout Valley, but it's one of the most unique because there's so many families who are buried here. I have 3 different sets of families buried here, from the Browns to the Jacksons to the Tuckers.
Thanks, Alex. Well, we'll take a peek across the way, and you can see that this is a pretty beautiful place. But the cabin would have been over in this area. So anyway, let's go take a look, shall we? Well, some people say that this particular area on the far left-hand side was the free cemetery, so you did not have to pay. So don't know if that's true. If anybody knows, please comment below in the videos. And you can see that they did bury people right up to the edge. Oh, we've got a Cherokee Nation seal.
Somewhere
These are interesting little.
Somewhere in here is where Kavanaugh Boydston was supposed to be buried, but
Wow, they buried people right up to the edge, so somewhere in here is where Kavanaugh Boydston was buried. And you can see that they used every inch of this cemetery. That's Ford. They used every inch of the cemetery they could. And they're literally buried right up against the fence line. And that's not the only one. There's more over that way. Winchester, Seymour. And we're getting up into the really old section. Here's Parker. This is a pretty hill up here. I'm actually surprised there are not more people buried at the tippy top up here. Mary McCaffrey Winslet. Let's see, I see the fence. Oh Lord. Well, might try to work our way down in that section because it looks like there's a little section down here.
name on it.
Hartman. 1816 and 1888. So we're getting into a much older section right here.
Some more of my family right here, Brown.
Let's see if we can't get into this other section over here. There's actually a section, it's almost hidden, almost buried in the past over here. So I'm going to try to work my way over there and get to it. I just don't know if I can get to it from this angle. And I am betting that a lot of these that fell over probably fell over because of tree damage. So that's 1882 and 1911. You get into some really old ones. These all look like Boydstons in this corner. And then I don't know what this one would be, but lordy, it comes right up. I mean, everybody's buried literally right up to that one. Let me try to stick my head back here and I'll join you guys in a minute. Well, now I've made it down to this section. We've got Butlers, we've got Harrises, and this is where things get interesting. I don't know if they've stacked these here to try to, oh Lord. There's another Harris, 1967, 2003. The Harris has fallen and really gone down the hill. Massengale, sorry. But man, this is, why would this is interesting that these are tucked in and almost abandoned, and they're not that old. Looks like there's even more Crowder. And I am not going any more through there, but I mean, you can see that, I mean, this is a weird little, I've never seen it where you just have a little branch off of here. But I'm going to get back up to the main part. Well, Foster's, all Stallings. All right, now what we're going to do is, I'm going to go this way and we're going to loop around. And the Browns are up in this section, so Browns of the Browns Ferry Tavern Browns. John Fowler. And Hennessy's and Fowler's and Stanley's. And we're going to go out here about halfway and take a look. And not everybody could afford a tombstone, so some people made their own. Very neat. That would have been at the end of the Adams. Someone else that is sacrificed for the country. Corporal in the U.S. Marine Corps in World War II. Well, the Reno family, mother and father. Interestingly enough, they are bracketed by cedar trees. I don't know if there was a plaque on that originally, or maybe those were holders for flowers.
Watch out for that.
Apologies for me wandering around a little much. There are a ton of ant nests in this area. There's some more Browns right there. And a neat little enclosure for Petty John. Somebody did a pretty neat Looks like it was handmade on wood, but unfortunately the wood has rotted and it's at least sitting here. But it's another Foster 2008. That's a neat one. Well, everyone, and that's neat. The edge looks like the edge of a Holy Bible.
We're at the grave of my friend Daniel Holland. He died in 2002, but what he died of was kind of tragic, but also very heroic. He was by the river, and there was a kid swimming, and he lost his treadway and started drowning. Daniel jumped in to saved the kid, but Daniel couldn't swim, didn't know how to swim, and he died drowning himself, saving a little boy's life. And Daniel was a great kid, and he's not a kid. I mean, we're the same age, but he's missed, and I try to come over here at least once a month, or once a year, just to say hi to him. But I know he's not here, but Daniel's a hero in my eyes and a lot of people's eyes.
This is a look at the Boydston Cemetery. So I'm off to go on some more journeys. Until then, why don't you go on a journey of your own? We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.